What happens when everything you remember is a lie? When the life you think is yours was implanted just hours ago? When the city you call home is a prison designed by beings beyond your understanding? Welcome to Movie Recast, where we explore the films that bent our minds, broke our hearts, and stayed with us long after the credits rolled. Today we're diving into Dark City, a 1998 sci-fi noir masterpiece that asked the ultimate question: what makes us human if not our memories?
Well, that's an appropriate name.
The film wasn't a box office sensation when it hit theaters, but over the years it's grown into one of the most influential cult classics of its era, blending noir aesthetics with mind-bending science fiction to create something truly unique. We'll check in on the stars who brought this shadowy world to life, from Rufus Sewell's amnesiac hero John Murdoch to Kiefer Sutherland's twitchy Dr. Schreiber and Jennifer Connelly's enigmatic Emma, seeing where they were then and where they are now. As the clock strikes midnight in our eternal city, let's see how these actors have changed since they first woke up in the darkness. Rufus Sewell, John Murdoch. John Murdoch, played by Rufus Sewell, is the man who wakes up in a bathtub with no memory and a dead prostitute in the next room. When we meet him, he's confused, desperate, and being hunted for murders he can't remember committing. But there's something different about John, something that makes him special in a city of sleepwalkers. He has the ability to tune, to reshape reality with his mind, just like the pale-skinned strangers who control the city. As John searches for answers, he realizes nothing is what it seems. The city has no sunlight, no exits, and at midnight, everyone falls asleep while buildings transform and memories are swapped. John isn't just fighting to clear his name, he's fighting for his humanity and for the truth behind his existence. Rufus Sewell was 30 when he brought John Murdoch to life, delivering a performance that balanced vulnerability and growing power. His mix of bewilderment and determination made John's journey feel real even in the most surreal surroundings. Now 56, Sewell has maintained a steady career across film, television, and theater. While Dark City should have launched him to stardom, he instead became one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors. He brought aristocratic menace to A Knight's Tale, 2001, played a troubled detective in BBC's Zen, 2011, and earned acclaim as Nazi officer John Smith in The Man in the High Castle, 2015 to 2019. For sci-fi fans, he'll always be remembered as the man who discovered the truth at the heart of the city, and had the power to change it. Kiefer Sutherland, Dr. Daniel Schreiber. Dr. Daniel Schreiber, played by Kiefer Sutherland, is the nervous, hunched psychiatrist with a secret. When we first meet him, he seems like another shadowy figure in the conspiracy against John Murdoch, injecting people with memories while they sleep. His twitchy mannerisms and whispery voice make him instantly suspicious, a man clearly under immense pressure and hiding something big.
Yes, sir.
But Schreiber isn't what he appears to be. He's a human collaborator forced to work for the strangers, implanting false memories while secretly planning rebellion. Despite his fears, he becomes John's reluctant ally, guiding him toward the truth about the city and his own powers. Schreiber represents humanity's compromise. Bend, but don't break. Survive to fight another day. Kiefer Sutherland was 31 when he took on this role against type, completely transforming his usually confident persona into the fidgety, soft-spoken doctor. The performance showed his range extended far beyond the action heroes he would later become known for. Now 57, Sutherland's career exploded after Dark City with his defining role as Jack Bauer in 24, 2001 to 2010, which earned him an Emmy and made him a household name. He later starred as President Tom Kirkman in Designated Survivor, 2016 to 2019, and recently returned to the thriller genre in Rabbit Hole, 2023. Though audiences now associate him with tough, decisive characters, fans of Dark City remember his Schreiber as proof of his dramatic versatility. The action hero who once played a terrified, morally conflicted man trying to do right in a world controlled by incomprehensible forces. Jennifer Connelly, Emma Murdoch, Anna Emma Murdoch, portrayed by Jennifer Connelly, exists in two forms throughout Dark City: as John's wife Emma, constructed from implanted memories, and as Anna, the nightclub singer she actually was before the strangers began their experiments.
Stay with me, sway.
She's the emotional anchor of the film, the human connection that John clings to even when everything else proves false. Emma or Anna represents the heart of the movie's central question. If our memories make us who we are, what happens when those memories aren't real? The love between John and Emma might be fabricated, yet the emotion itself feels authentic. When John finally finds Anna singing at the club, we're left wondering if some connections transcend even manipulated memories. Connelly was 27 during filming, already known for roles in Labyrinth, 1986, and Higher Learning, 1995. But Dark City showcased her ability to convey deep emotional complexity with minimal dialogue. Her luminous presence gave weight to the film's more abstract philosophical questions. Now 53, Connelly's career reached new heights after Dark City, winning an Academy Award for A Beautiful Mind, 2001, and starring in critically acclaimed films like House of Sand and Fog, 2003, Requiem for a Dream, 2000, and more recently, Top Gun, Maverick, 2022, and TNT's Snowpiercer, 2020 to 2022. Of all Dark City's stars, Connelly perhaps achieved the most mainstream success, transitioning from promising young actress to respected Hollywood heavyweight. Still, her performance as the woman with two identities remains one of her most hauntingly beautiful. The emotional soul in a film about the nature of humanity. William Hurt, Inspector Frank Bumstead. Inspector Frank Bumstead, played by William Hurt, is the straight-arrow detective investigating the serial killings that John Murdoch is suspected of committing. When we meet him, he's methodical, by the book, and utterly unaware of the bizarre truth about the city. Bumstead represents the rational mind trying to make sense of increasingly irrational circumstances. As the film progresses, Bumstead begins noticing inconsistencies in the world around him. Where did his partner Walensky's mental breakdown come from? Why can't he find the waterfront? His growing suspicions lead him to help Murdoch instead of arresting him, culminating in the shocking moment when they break through a wall and discover the truth. They're on a massive space station surrounded by nothing but stars. William Hurt was 48 when he portrayed Bumstead, bringing gravitas and intelligence to what could have been a one-dimensional role. His scenes represented the film's noir elements, the detective in a trench coat piecing together clues in a city of shadows and lies. Hurt, already an Academy Award winner for Kiss of the Spider-Woman, 1985, continued his distinguished career after Dark City with memorable roles in AI Artificial Intelligence, 2001, The Village, 2004, and as General Thunderbolt Ross in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He received an Oscar nomination for A History of Violence, 2005, proving his continued excellence decades into his career. Sadly, Hurt passed away in 2022 at age 71 after a battle with cancer. His performance as the detective who discovered his world was a lie remains one of Dark City's most poignant elements. The face of dawning horror when illusion shatters and impossible truth emerges. Richard O'Brien, Mr. Hand. Mr. Hand, portrayed by Richard O'Brien, is perhaps the most unsettling of the strangers. The pale, bald aliens who experiment on humans in their quest to understand what makes us who we are. Initially just another of the collective, Mr. Hand volunteers for a dangerous procedure. Having John Murdoch's memories implanted into his own mind to better track the escapee, what makes Mr. Hand fascinating is the transformation that follows. As he absorbs Murdoch's memories, he begins to experience human emotions, particularly a growing obsession with Emma Murdoch. The alien who sought to understand humanity starts becoming infected by it, experiencing desires and jealousies that were previously incomprehensible to his kind. Richard O'Brien was 55 during filming, bringing the perfect uncanny quality to Mr. Hand. Already cult famous as the creator of the Rocky Horror Show and for playing Riff Raff in its film adaptation, O'Brien knew how to embody the otherworldly. His thin frame, distinctive voice, and theatrical movements made Mr. Hand simultaneously alien and oddly human. Now 81, O'Brien has maintained his status as a beloved cult figure, making appearances in films like Elvira's Haunted Hills, 2001, and continuing his career on stage. He's also been a presenter on The Crystal Maze in the UK, and made guest appearances on shows like Phineas and Ferb. Though Dark City wasn't O'Brien's most famous role, his performance as Mr. Hand, the alien experiencing humanity's emotions for the first time, perfectly embodied the film's core themes. The confusion and wonder in his eyes as he tastes ice cream or feels attraction demonstrated exactly what the movie was trying to say. Our emotions, not our memories, make us human. Ian Richardson, Mr. Book. Mr. Book, portrayed by Ian Richardson, is the cold, calculating leader of the Strangers, the otherworldly beings who control Dark City and experiment on its human inhabitants. As their primary authority figure, Mr. Book represents their collective purpose: to understand individuality by manipulating human memories in hopes of saving their dying species. Unlike Mr. Hand, who becomes contaminated by human emotion, Mr. Book remains detached and clinical throughout. He views humans as mere specimens, their lives and memories simply variables to be adjusted in his grand experiment. His aristocratic demeanor and precise diction make him all the more menacing. This is not a villain who rages, but one who dissects with terrifying intelligence. Ian Richardson was 63 when he brought Mr. Book to life, drawing on his distinguished theatrical background with the Royal Shakespeare Company. His performance carried the gravitas of a Shakespearean villain transposed to science fiction, dignified, articulate, and utterly ruthless in his pursuit of knowledge. Prior to Dark City, Richardson was known for his iconic role as Francis Urquhart in the original House of Cards BBC series, delivering the famous line, "You might very well think that. I couldn't possibly comment." After Dark City, he continued working steadily in British television and film, including roles in 102 Dalmatians, 2000, and From Hell, 2001. Richardson passed away in 2007 at age 72, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances. His Mr. Book remains one of science fiction's most eloquent villains, a being who sought to understand humanity while remaining fundamentally incapable of empathy. His refined exterior masking an alien coldness that made the Strangers truly terrifying. Bruce Spence. Mr. Wall, brought to life by Bruce Spence, is instantly recognizable among the Strangers with his exceptionally tall, gaunt frame and distinctive features. Though not given as much focus as Mr. Hand or Mr. Book, his silent, looming presence adds to the unsettling atmosphere whenever the Strangers gather. His height and thinness make him appear almost like a living shadow in the perpetually dark city. As part of the collective, Mr. Wall participates in the nightly ritual of stopping time, reconfiguring the city, and implanting new memories in its sleeping inhabitants. Though he speaks little, his physical presence is unforgettable. The perfect embodiment of something human-like but fundamentally wrong, existing in the uncanny valley between recognizable and alien. Bruce Spence was 52 during filming, already familiar to science fiction and fantasy fans from his roles in the Mad Max films as the Gyro Captain and Jedediah. His unique physicality made him ideal for otherworldly characters, with a face and form that directors consistently cast as non-human or post-apocalyptic figures. Now 79, Spence continued his career in genre films after Dark City, appearing as the Mouth of Sauron in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, 2003, as Zedekias in Legend of the Seeker, 2008 to 2010, and in Star Wars, Episode III, 2005, as Tion Maydon. His distinctive presence also graced the Chronicles of Narnia series and Finding Nemo, 2003. Though often cast in supporting roles, Spence's contribution to Dark City exemplifies how the right physical presence can enhance a film's atmosphere. His Mr. Wall needed few words to convey the inhuman nature of the Strangers. His silhouette alone was enough to create unease. Colin Friels. Detective Eddie Walensky. Detective Eddie Walensky, played by Colin Friels, is the cautionary tale of Dark City, the man who discovered the truth too soon and couldn't handle it. When we meet him, he's already broken, scribbling spirals on his walls and ranting about how they keep changing things. What initially seems like mental illness is gradually revealed to be horrifying clarity. Walensky remembers the changes the strangers make each night. His tragedy lies in his isolation. He knows the truth but lacks the power to do anything about it. When he tells Bumstead, there's no way out, he means it literally. His suicide by stepping in front of a train becomes even more poignant when we later learn the subway goes in an endless loop, never actually leaving the city, just like the trapped thoughts in Walensky's mind. Colin Friels was 45 when he portrayed this deeply disturbed character, bringing raw emotional intensity to his limited screen time. Though his role is brief, it's crucial. He's the first hint that something fundamental is wrong with the world, and his fate foreshadows the existential horror at the heart of the story. Now 71, Friels has had a successful career primarily in Australian cinema and television. Before Dark City, he was known for Malcolm, 1986, and Dingo, 1991, and afterward continued with prominent roles in Australian productions like Blackjack and Mystery Road. Walensky might be a small role in Friels' long career, but it's a memorable one. The detective who saw too much and couldn't live with the knowledge. His haunted eyes and desperate warnings create some of Dark City's most unsettling moments, showing us the human cost of having reality itself pulled out from under you. John Bluthal, Carl Harris. Carl Harris, portrayed by John Bluthal, is the night clerk at the hotel where John Murdoch awakens at the beginning of the film. Though a minor character, his brief interaction with a confused Murdoch sets the tone for the eerie, disorienting world of Dark City. When Murdoch asks him basic questions about the perpetually dark city, Harris responds with vacant confusion. He can't remember the last time he saw daylight, yet this doesn't seem to trouble him. Harris represents the sleepwalking populace of Dark City, people who accept glaring inconsistencies in their reality because their memories are regularly erased and rewritten. His inability to question his environment highlights how thoroughly the strangers control human perception. The vacant stare and mechanical responses Bluthal delivers in his brief scenes subtly communicate that something is fundamentally wrong with the world. John Bluthal was 68 during filming, bringing decades of acting experience to this small but significant role. Born in Poland and raised in Australia, Bluthal had a long career in British comedy, including roles in the Carry On films and as Frank Pickle in The Vicar of Dibley. His background in comedy made his deadpan delivery as Harris all the more effective. There's something inherently unsettling about a character who should be funny but isn't. Bluthal continued working well into his 80s, with roles in Hail, Caesar, 2016, and on various British television programs. He passed away in 2018 at age 89, leaving behind a 7-decade career spanning comedy, drama, and voice work. Though his screen time in Dark City was brief, Bluthal's performance as the unquestioning hotel clerk perfectly embodied the film's themes of memory and reality manipulation. A man who doesn't realize he's living in a simulation. Mitchell Butel, Officer Hustleback. Officer Hustleback, played by Mitchell Butel, represents the ground-level police force in Dark City. The officers who unknowingly enforce the rules of a false reality. Working alongside Inspector Bumstead, Hustleback is investigating the serial murders supposedly committed by John Murdoch. With his no-nonsense approach and by-the-book attitude, he embodies the procedural elements in this noir-inflected world. What makes Hustleback interesting is that unlike Bumstead, he never gets to discover the truth. He's a cog in the machine, following protocols in a system designed by inhuman forces. His character highlights how most people in Dark City live their entire lives, never questioning the bizarre inconsistencies around them. The perpetual night, the changing architecture, the circular subway system. Mitchell Butel was 28 when he appeared in Dark City in one of his earlier film roles. The Australian actor brought an earnest professionalism to Hustleback, creating a character who genuinely believes in the system he serves, making his unwitting participation in the stranger's experiment all the more poignant. Now 53, Butel has built a successful career primarily in Australian theatre and film. He's won multiple Helpman Awards, Australia's equivalent of the Tony Awards, for his stage work, and appeared in productions ranging from Shakespearean classics to modern musicals. His film work includes roles in Australian productions like The Bank, 2001, and Strange Bedfellows, 2004. Though Officer Hasselbeck was a supporting character with limited screen time, Boodle's portrayal added to Dark City's layered world building, showing us not just the manipulators and those who discover the truth, but also the everyday people living their programmed lives, following orders without ever knowing they're part of a cosmic experiment. Melissa George. May, portrayed by Melissa George, is a woman John Murdoch encounters at the Automat, a chance meeting that isn't chance at all. When we first see her, she's simply a beautiful stranger sharing a moment with our confused protagonist. But as the film's mysteries unravel, we discover that May represents another facet of the stranger's experiments. They've implanted memories making her believe she once had an affair with John. This fabricated connection makes May a living example of the film's central theme. If memories can be artificially created, what does that mean for human identity and relationships? Her genuine attraction to John is based on experiences that never happened, yet her emotions feel real to her. When she approaches him with familiarity, the confusion on his face highlights the cruel disconnect the strangers have created. Melissa George was just 21 when she appeared in Dark City, in one of her first American film roles after gaining fame in Australia on the soap opera Home and Away. Her beauty and vulnerability made her perfect for this character caught in the crosshairs of memory manipulation. Now 47, George has built an impressive international career spanning film and television. After Dark City, she appeared in notable projects like Mulholland Drive, 2001, 30 Days of Night, 2007, and had recurring roles in shows like Alias, Grey's Anatomy, and The Good Wife. More recently, she starred in the Apple TV Plus series The Mosquito Coast 2021, alongside Justin Theroux. Though her role in Dark City was small, George's portrayal of May demonstrated how deeply the stranger's experiments affected innocent lives, creating false connections and emotions that, while not based in reality, still resulted in genuine human suffering. That's the power of Dark City, a film that questioned what makes us human when memories can be rewritten and reality itself shifts in the darkness. From cult obscurity to recognized influence on modern sci-fi, its legacy continues to grow, along with the careers of its talented cast. What did Dark City mean to you? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Movie Recast for more deep dives into the films that shaped us. Until next time, remember, it's always midnight in Dark City,